I'm sorry, I pushed the wrong button and the video recording stopped, okay? But this continuation of the previous episode, okay? Sorry, my bad. So yeah, we're at the initial beginning stage of humanology, so we'll start small, step by step, baby step at a time. So we're gonna deal with one-dimensional space, okay? So yeah, I'm just giving you some background here, okay, mathematical background, but we don't have to do this two-dimensional vector arithmetic yet, right? So we don't even need vectors yet because if you remember scalar, it's just one number, okay? Negative number, positive number, or zero, that's scalar, which also is one-dimensional vector. So we don't even need the concept of vector yet. Scalar is just fine, okay? So a plus 1, no, we are dealing with scalar only, okay? A minus 1 is a minus 1 is same as a minus positive 1 is same as a minus a plus minus 1. That is the same mathematically, right? Arithmetically. They're equivalent, okay? This has such a huge significance in humanology. It looks very simple, but it has huge significance in humanology. As you can see, humanology is very humble. We don't have to do with just fancy statistics or fancy calculus that some psychologists or psychiatrists would like to use, would like to publish in their academic journals. No, we don't need that fancy stuff. Okay, we are humble, just like Jesus wants us to be. We are humble. Okay. Why is it so significant in humanology in terms of copium transfer? I give you like 10 seconds because probably you're not gonna get the answer that I'm thinking about. Yes. What's the significance of this in humanology, in copium transfer, copiumology? Why? Why is this so important? We talked about this before briefly. I'm kind of like postmenopausal or old man, postmenopausal woman. I have the hot flashes sometimes. My body temperature changed so whimsical way. Hot and cold, hot and cold. That's me. Okay. It's this. Okay. We talked about this Chinese four-letter idiom. This means weak. In Korean, we pronounce it as a yak. It means weak. Weak becomes a meat, like a rabbit. This means meat. In Korean, we pronounce it as a yuk. Okay. And the strong, I think this is how you write it. We pronounce it as a kang. Shik means Chinese character, okay? It means eat. The strong eat weak meat. Okay. Rabbit becomes a meat of the tiger. Okay, so I forgot why I introduced this in the previous one of the previous episodes. Because the point is the natural direction of copium flow, copium transfer. Okay, so you have tiger in a food pyramid. You have tiger and you have rabbits, multiple rabbits, and you have grass, even more grass. That's the food pyramid, right? Size wise, yeah, tiger is bigger than a rabbit. Piece of this leaf or leaf of grass is smaller than a rabbit, size wise, which means like strength, the power. Okay. Yeah, tiger is bigger than rabbit. Rabbit is bigger than this single leaf of grass. But in terms of number, there are more rabbits than tigers. There are more grasses than rabbit. Okay. Size or power. Okay. This is a food pyramid. Okay. Food pyramid. Like a tree, reverse tree. Okay. Tree roots, whatever. Yeah, this food pyramid in the ecosystem, and if this physical ecosystem of animal, plant, okay, and grass, you have also this water, air. There are a lot more water and air than grass can take, right? Soil, minerals, dirts, yeah, or to some manure, fecal matters, or dead animals, dead plants, all these organic matters, more than grass can take, right? Food pyramid, right? Ecosystem. Physical ecosystem, but there are also metaphysical ecosystem. If you remember, humanology, we model the metaphysical entities and events and phenomena using physical phenomena, physical entities, and physical events. It's more like mirror image. That's the foundational assumption, premise of humanology, that there are mirror images. Metaphysical universe and physical universe are mirror images. That's the foundational assumption. Could be wrong, but that's our assumption, okay? Because it's mathematical modeling, engineering. Modeling we talked about this. Science in engineering. Modeling means we use mathematics to capture, to understand this physical phenomena like gravitational equation, right? Or you have this. We wrote this too many times, so let's do something else. It's been such a long time. I think it's like space, the distance of a falling object, equal S0 plus VT plus half AT squared. So that's the motion equation, right? Of an accelerating object. It could be acceleration, could be a gravity, but there's a constant force. F equal ma. Mass is constant. It's the Newtonian mechanics, okay? Mass is constant, and let's say that you are in a force field, or like electric field, or magnetic field, or gravitational field. You have constant force, constant mass, then you have constant acceleration. Okay. If you are rotating sling, okay. Yeah, it's constant force. Okay. Centripetal force. Okay. Why am I being so silent? It's because of this. It's a physics question, okay? So you have this satellite or any object in the in space. There is just empty space. There's nothing around it. Okay, so and you have this satellite and you spin it, so it's rotating on its own, or any object, okay, like whatever object. It has mass and it has acceleration. What is acceleration? Acceleration is defined as it's a vector v2 minus v1 over time. That's the Newtonian Galilean definition of acceleration. How much does this vector, this velocity, is changing? Okay, so it's good that we cover this vector subtraction. V1, V2, this subtraction. V2 minus V1 is the okay. Delta V is differential. The difference between these two vectors, okay? You divide by the scalar time. Time can be either 0 or positive. Time can never be negative, okay? Alright. So acceleration is just per second. How much velocity have changed, okay? So in a rotating body, okay, you have this sling that you are you have this one string, and at the end of the string you have this piece of stone, just like David. I don't know what kind of sling David used against Goliath. Chef David the shepherd. Maybe he used this, or maybe he used this. I don't know. Let's assume that he used this, okay? He used this one cord, and at the end of it there's this stone, and then he's rotating, and he threw it to Goliath to kill him. Well, that's what happened, right? So this is your finger, okay? Your hand, you're rotating this sling. At the end of it is a stone, and initial velocity is v1. The next velocity here is v2. Okay. Again, when you do vector subtraction or vector addition, you can already the parallel translation, parallel movement doesn't have any effect. Okay, it's equivalent. If two vectors are parallel to each other and they are the same length, then two vectors are the same. Okay, this vector arithmetic, and if you cannot follow me, and then you just do some Google search, Bing search, online search. Okay, so you have v1, you have v2, subtract just like we did here. v2 minus v1 equals delta v. This. Okay, it's a vector too, and it's parallel. We do some parallel translation. Then where is it pointing? It's pointing directly to the center of this circle. That's why we call it centripetal force. Okay, it's always pointing toward the center of the circle. Centripetal force, center seeking force. This opposite force is called centrifugal force. Okay, so that's the tension of this string. All right, it's in perfect balance. That's why this stone is not going anywhere. But if centrifugal force overcomes centripetal force, oh sorry, centripetal force is the force of the string, I think. Centrifugal force overcomes that you spin it so fast with such a great force, then the string breaks and the stone flies away, right? The centrifugal force is overcoming is bigger than centripetal force, right? Okay. We deviated a lot from humanology to physics, man. Oh my goodness. We're talking about modeling, right? So I wanted to explain to you what this acceleration is. Okay, so let's step back. What is v, the velocity? V equals s2 minus s1 over time. Velocity. S is a shorthand for space. It's a location of you. Okay, so let's say in two-dimensional coordinate, your initial position is here. That's s1 vector, and you travel to s2 vector here. This is origin, frame of reference, okay? And this, we call it displacement, okay? From this is delta S equal to S2 minus S1, okay? Your trajectory or your itinerary, okay? So yeah, that's what velocity is. How fast you are. Okay, so in space, you have seen this free rotation over the Earth. You have two kinds of rotation. It spins. Okay, that's how we have day and night, because there's the sun and Earth just rotates on its own. It spins like a top, spinning top, right? It spins. That's why we have all the day and night. But it also rotates around the sun. That's why we have 4 seasons, because axis of Earth is like what 23.5 degrees or something. It's like oblique. So you rotate like this. Okay, and then this, there is sun here. If you're in northern hemisphere, now it's summer, right? But if you go like this, then it's winter. Okay, it takes 1 year to do that. Okay, so spinning and this rotation around this day and night spinning and rotation around the sun for a year, that's 4 seasons. Okay. And because I want to educate you about all this science, I want to share with you. If it's already something that you already know, I'm sorry for boring you. If it's something new to you, then it's an entertainment to you. I'm an entertainer. Everything that I say here can be thought as a fiction. Okay, fiction. For entertainment, okay? A joke. Right. To make you happy, to make you laugh, alright? We're still debating a lot. Okay, so the free rotation, okay, it doesn't take any energy, it's inertia. Okay? So force. Like you have two magnets, or you have two electric charges, plus and minus. There's this force field. It's a vector with this direction. Okay, magnetic force, or like north to south, magnet, two different magnets, or electrical charge, or gravitation. Yeah, there's a force field. Okay. So if you put some positive charge, test charge, unit charge here, it will, these two will repulse with each other, and these two will attract to each other, and then this point charge will start to move into this direction. Okay, you have a lot of positive charges here, a lot of negative charges here, like a battery. Okay, yeah, it repulses and it attracts. So attract symbol that I just came up with now. This is a repellent symbol, repulsion, repelling symbol. So yeah, this positive point charge, it attracts. I mean, repels and then attracts. So you start move to this one direction. Okay. But let's assume there is no point charge in motion here. It's just vacuum between two fixed sources of opposite charges. Then you have this force field. Okay? And there's no energy involved. It's just force. This may hard to follow if you don't have background in physics. Okay? But force is not energy. It's just there. What is energy is this. Work equals force times some distance, space, distance in space. Okay? This is equivalent to energy. This physical definition of energy. Okay? Force itself, by itself, is not an energy. It's a component, half of the energy. The other half is some displacement, some distance, okay? You can say delta. Delta means differential. It means change in distance, this displacement vector, okay? You have to understand physics. This is very elementary physics that probably you learn in nowadays elementary school, but when I was in school in 1980s and 1990s, I learned this in middle school, in 7th grade. But nowadays, probably you learn this in elementary school, maybe 5th grade or not. I don't know. Okay. You have to understand the elementary physics, and it's easy. Okay, just go to Wikipedia, YouTube. Okay, some elementary physics, some online website, all for free. Okay, but you need to understand this basics to understand this humanology, because humanology make use of the physical phenomenon like physics, mathematics, physics, biology in order to understand, in order to model metaphysical phenomena. So you have to understand basic mathematics and basic physics if you want to be a hardcore humanologist. There are softcore humanology, right? For everyone, every other humanologist except me. I'm very hardcore, okay? If you don't want to study mathematics and physics in your spare time, it's for free, it's not going to cost you anything. Then go to other humanologists if you don't want to study. But if you want to do hardcore humanology, then you have to understand, study on your own time. It's free in the web, online, okay? Just go to any websites, elementary physics, okay, and algebra. So, some basics, okay, just basics. It doesn't have to be advanced, okay. Yeah. So yeah, this is mathematical modeling, okay, to understand, to capture this, to quantify this physical phenomena of a moving object in a constant force field, like gravitational field, small scale. Like gravitational force is actually not constant. Okay, it's approximation. Because the farther you are from Earth, the weaker the gravitational force gets. This inverse proportional inverse square law, like F equals G times m1 times m2 divided by r squared. Yeah, so force depends on how far away you are from the Earth, and but the small scale like this, yeah, it's good approximation that the constant force is a good approximation. Okay, and that's why this Newtonian equation of motion is very good approximation, and we don't have to factor in the changing gradient, gradual degradation of the gravitational force. Okay, all this probably like Jewish and Hebrew and Greek to you if you don't know the elementary physics. So I'm sorry, but yeah, you can go back and do some online search on physics. Okay, this is not a physics class. This is a humanology class. We're just covering the preliminary physics. Okay. Okay, but if you don't want to study, that's fine. Just watch along. Okay, because it's not all about physics. It's okay that you don't understand some parts of it. Just keep watching. Okay. Okay. It's not too necessary you understand all this. Okay, it'd be nice, but it's not too necessary. Okay, so this rotating object in this empty space, like a satellite, it has this constant acceleration. Okay, it's not exactly constant because not exactly, but all this acceleration in around this string and stone, it always points to the center. Okay, but in a Euclidean space, it's not the same vector. This acceleration a1, acceleration a2, acceleration a3, acceleration a4. That in Euclidean space, they are different vectors because it has different direction. But in terms of this hypothetical coordinate, non-Euclidean coordinate, we can call it point coordinate. Okay, it is the same direction. Why? Because it is pointing toward this one point in space. So it's a brand new coordinate system where all these four vectors and their directions actually is the one same direction. It's pointing to one point in space. So it's not Euclidean space concept. It's a point coordinate. All right, so that's why we are not applying any new energy on this rotating object. But in terms of this brand new coordinate, point coordinate, it has only one direction. It's not changing any direction. It's not changing any length of this vectors. So we regard it as constant acceleration, and there's constant force. Okay, and this rotating body, it's not exactly the center of this rotation. Okay, it is not changing any position. Okay, so you have this body in space, empty space, is rotating by itself. There is no extra energy that is going to applying to this rotating body. Okay, but by inertia, it keeps on rotating unless somebody stops it. There's no extra energy that is applying, but it's still moving. That's the concept of inertia. Okay, because it is because this s is zero. We call this W on energy is F times delta of this location. Okay, it's not changing its location. The center of gravity is not changing. Yeah, it's moving, but center of gravity is not changing. That's why it just becomes zero. There's no energy applied to it. Well, we can call it delta energy. Okay, there's no energy coming in or energy going out. Okay, it's just moving. I'm sorry that I'm talking too much of physics, but in humanology, the premise, the assumption is that for every physical phenomenon, there's mirror image of every metaphysical phenomenon that is matching it. Okay, so that's we are doing this. What is the analogical counterpart in the metaphysical phenomena? Like in politics and religion in society, we'll explore that possibility in the next segment. I mean, after break in this segment. Okay. So yeah, that's rotating body. Okay, in space, or it doesn't have to rotate. It can just go move. So there's this static body in the universe, right? Have you ever seen Superman movie? Yeah, it's like that, right? John Williams made this famous Superman movie theme, which I really am a huge fan of. Like da 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 da, right? So there's this Superman, the sequel, this space alien evil guy. He kicks somebody, an astronaut in the moon, an American. Okay, so this astronaut and this evil guy from this Krypton or something. So he kicks this guy, poor not Asian, not African, but just yeah, Caucasian. Okay, white astronaut, American astronaut. Then this evil guy from Krypton kicks him, and he just travels in a straight line, right? It's not accelerating; it's constant speed. So acceleration is zero. Okay. So yeah, there's zero acceleration and zero force, but it's still moving. Okay. I need you to understand this. Okay. So now you have constant speed. The velocity is non-zero velocity. Just an object moving in space in a constant speed, constant velocity. Okay. So you have no force, no acceleration, just velocity. But if an object is just freely rotating, there's no extra energy input. It's just rotating like this forever, just like Earth spinning forever. Okay, there's no external energy that is enabling this rotation. Okay, there's only centripetal force, centripetal force. All right, but there's no energy. Okay, so there's space, there's velocity, and there's acceleration, which is kind of equivalent to a force. And after that, there is next level is energy. Okay, so there's this high physical hierarchy. There's space, this location, right? Space, and this displacement, which is kind of equivalent to velocity. Velocity is just this difference, the differential of space divided by time, right? And then there is next level is acceleration, which is equivalent to force. And then there's next level is energy, which is same as work, which is equivalent to not equivalent, but exactly same as Fs. It's same as Fs delta S, and F is equivalent to what? Delta V. Then you have delta S, right? You know, F is equivalent to A, and A is equal to delta V. So delta V is from equivalent to F, okay? And which is equivalent to delta S V, that's okay. A times V, okay? Okay. And which is equivalent to delta. Okay. Delta is kind of like differential. It's kind of like a differential. Okay. So in calculus, you have first differentiation, second differentiation. Okay. So let's just go further down that road. So it's del S, and A is del V, and V is del S, so del squared S. Okay. Yeah. So everything boils down to this space location. Okay. We don't care about time. Time is just constant. All right. Yeah, so that's the energy, okay? So we're doing this just for fun, all right? But let's take a break and let's do just one more thing, okay? Yeah, so copium, the natural direction of copium is something of quantity of something of value. It's from low to high, okay? That's copium, natural direction of the copium flow, copium transfer. Okay, the strong feed on the weak. Okay, so tiger eats the meat of rabbit. Rabbit suffers. Tiger enjoys. Rabbit suffers from pain and suffering of this being killed and being eaten, being chased. Tiger loves chasing. Okay, enjoys this thrill of chasing this, going after this rabbit. Okay, so yeah, that's the significance of this arithmetic. Okay, you're like a rabbit as an employee. Your boss is like a tiger as your employer. Okay, so you create. So you're an employee and you have a boss, and your boss tell you to create this nice product. Let's say it's painting or sculpture, whatever, right? A product. Let's say your labor's worth is like $100. Okay. This product that you sell you, no, that you created and your boss is selling this product, okay, for $100, but you don't get to have $100. You get, if you're lucky, you get $50 for it. Okay, okay. Let's make it an easy example. I want to make it as easy as possible. $100 is equal to let's say you get paid $20 and your boss keeps $30. Okay, and there are other costs, so your material to make this product. Let's say this product is sculpture. Okay, so yeah, there are a lot of materials, and you have this shop that you sell this sculpture. There's this rent, lease, rent, and material, all this overhead, material cost. Okay, but the profit of $30, yeah, that's what your boss takes, and $20 is your salary, your wage, for this one single product. Okay, so either way, it's a losing game to you in a monetary sense. Your boss is making more money than you do, so you're being taken advantage of. So you are like a slave. That's how an employee's life is. You are being told to what to do. You are being controlled. Okay, many times metaphysical whipping. Your boss whip you, not physically but metaphysically. Why are you doing this? Why are you late? You are lazy. You are evil. You are. I'm gonna fire you if you don't do this. If you have next time, I'll fire you. I'll reduce your salary. No more vacation. Blah blah blah. Yeah, they. And you, what do if you don't want to lose your job? Oh yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. You bow down. You lick his boot liquor, and toad eater. You, hey you employee, eat this. Do you see the toad crawling on the ground? Eat it. Yeah, toad eater, boot liquor. Okay, ass kisser. You kiss ass. Yeah, you no sexual connotation. Okay, you suck it up. Okay, you suck up the pain, all those bullshit that your boss giving you. Yeah, that's just I know this because I it's all my life, man. As a son to my parents, yeah, we are like slave. We are like employees. We do what they tell us to do. As a student in a school, yeah, teachers tell us what to do. Yeah, we obey. We graduate from college, then yeah, we get a job. We are still employees. So as a son, as a child, then as students, then as employees, yeah, we obey. We have to suck it up to survive, to make a living, right? That's the human condition. So even the employers, the bosses, they have their own bosses. Who are they? Politicians, okay? Well, because politicians make all the regulation, they have to obey the law, right? So all the business owners, yeah, their bosses are politicians, and so what do? They make contribution, like political contributions, right, to political campaigns. Yeah, there's max limit, and public corporation cannot donate any money to. Yeah, there's some FEC election laws, right? Whatever. So yeah, and who are the bosses of politicians? Us, employees, voters, because most of people in America or any country are employees, so they're the majority voters. Okay, so yeah, it goes in a circle. Okay, everybody is somebody else's boss. Everybody is somebody else's employee. Okay, it's just how the world works. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying that's how it is. No matter what political or economical societal system you come up with, it's always a circle. In communist country, socialist country, it's all the same. Somebody serves somebody else. Somebody is a slave of somebody else. that never changes, no matter what political system you have. Again, human analytical laws is like tensor analysis. It's like general gravitation theory. I mean, general relativity theory. It does not depend on the coordinate system. The frame of reference is independent. It's invariant across all the coordinate system. Meaning, no matter what political or economic system a country have, it obeys the law of humanology, where everything is a circle. There are many laws in humanology. What we are talking about is everything is circle. Somebody serves somebody else. Okay. Yeah, doesn't matter. It's capitalism, socialism, communism. Doesn't matter. You serve somebody. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's why everybody wanna be a boss because they wanna be in control because they wanna have more money, more happiness. Okay, so if you're a boss and you have subordinates, subordinates have some subordinates, right? You get to make more money. It's a metaphysical food chain, metaphysical ecosystem. Okay, top dog make more money. This is another humanological law. You go to communist country, you go to socialist country. Yeah, there is this hierarchy. It's not Mao Zedong, the chairman Mao, or Kim Jong Un, or Joseph Stalin, or Lenin, or Vladimir Putin. Doesn't matter. Or in Cuba, who's that dictator in Cuba? The mustache guy, Fidel Castro. Chairman Mao in China back in communist days, or Fidel Castro, yeah, they pretend they make the same money. They have this plain clothing, okay, very humble clothing. It's just a deception. They are fooling the public. Why? Because they are the richest people in that country, that communist country. They have these guards protecting them. How many you have some personal security guard? No, only the rich has it, right? Fidel Castro, this entire army of security guards protecting him. Chairman Mao or Chairman Kim Jong Un in North Korea today. Yeah, they are the richest people richest person in that country. All this dictatorship, communist country, Joseph Stalin, Lenin. They have Leningrad castle, this luxurious castle, Stalin. Yeah, all these communist countries. Yeah, they have food hierarchy there. It's not about everybody is making equal money. No, it's never like that. It's deception. That's why communism is one of the evil ideologies. It's deception, okay? It's about power. They're deceiving common people who are not literate back in the days. Socialism, communism is all the same. It's deception, okay? They say, oh, everybody make equal money. No. They are lying to you in order to get the popular support, in order to get your votes, to get in their power. Get their own power. It's not about giving power to everybody. No, it's about taking power to their own life. Okay. Yeah. So Mao Zedong, Kim Jong Un, Mr. Kim Jong Un, and Stalin, Fidel Castro. Yeah, they are the richest people, single richest people. They have a lot of women, many of them. Okay, or they have a lot of money. Okay, the kind of food they eat is the most luxurious food, exotic dishes, and they live in palace. They have security guards. They are rich people. They live in luxury. Dictators in communist countries. Okay. It's no different from capitalist or democratic country. Okay. It's all about this food hierarchy. Okay. So, corporation, nation, politics, even in religion. Look at Pope Francis, the single richest guy in Catholic Church. He has power concentrated to him. All the riches, like he buy this Versace bag, like a girl, right? He has all this fancy clothing. He live in a palace, a Roman Catholic cathedral. Okay, rich people, religious organization, political organization, corporation, economic, financial corporation, whatever. It's all the same hierarchy. The strong feed on the weak. Okay, I'm not saying it's wrong or bad. I'm saying it's just the way it is across the board. Okay, it's just the way it is. You cannot change this thing. Okay, so humanological law is a descriptive natural law, metaphysical level. Just like in the animal world, human metaphysical world is mirroring physical world. Okay, and let's take a break. Okay, really just going on and on. Just probably because it's Sunday or because I don't have a job, I have more energy, I guess. We'll take a break. Okay. Okay, is my I'm kind of losing my voice, so we'll have to wrap up this quickly. There's just so many things that you, my imaginary listener, is inspiring me. You're like a sounding board, bouncing ideas. Okay, although you don't exist yet. Okay. My goodness, we cover so many things. Uh, why don't we erase everything? Okay, let's erase everything. I mean, the blue part. Let's erase all the blues. I love blues music. Fantastic music genre created by African Americans. Yeah. All right. Let's do some magic, okay? We'll start mapping between these two worlds, metaphysical world, universe, and physical universe. We start. It's like analogy, okay? Mapping, right? Okay. Can't do this without vodka, man. It's like I'm playing the role of John the Baptist right now. This guy who's yelling in the middle of the a desert by himself. Or maybe I'm playing the role. Script Bible is like a scripture screenplay. Okay, scripture is like a screenplay. So there are different characters: Jesus, John the Baptist, Saint Paul, Saint John. Okay, or David, Moses. Yeah, I guess I'm playing their roles, prophet, whatever. Nobody's listening to me though. Okay. So it's an analogy. Okay, let's do more analogies. Okay, so I'm fasting. It's like 11 o'clock in the morning, Sunday morning. I've been doing this since what, 8 o'clock. So totally going overtime on Sunday. Well, I don't have any jobs, so I can do this. But I'm fasting, just like Jesus did, sacrificing myself for you, humanity. Okay, I'm hungry, but I eat every day. Eating is to me a nuisance. I don't like eating. I like drinking vodka, but I hate eating. Okay, so first of all, I don't cook, so what I eat is not that yummy. I eat healthy, it's not delicious. So I hate eating. I eat every day, 3 times a day, so just skipping a meal, it's nothing, right? Because I eat every day. I'm gonna eat after this, so no big deal. And let me take some Tums. Because I'm drinking in an empty stomach. That's irritating my esophagus, heartburn. Yeah. Whatever. So let's do some mapping, okay? So we have F equal MA. We have W equal FS, right? We have coordinate, two-dimensional coordinate. This actually is called you have x-axis, y-axis. The two dots, point A, point B. This vector is called position vector. Okay, now I kind of remembered what it's called. It's not location vector. We call it position vector. Point A is becoming moving toward B. Okay, that's what B minus A It's always start from the end, okay? B minus A vector. We called it C. That's this vector. This vector is called displacement. It's from point A to point B. It's a displacement vector. So WFS, W is equals energy, okay? It's called, in physics, it's called, we call it work. S is actually delta means difference, okay? Difference of S is the position vector, okay? Delta S is the displacement vector, the vector difference. Just S1 S so equals to S2 vector minus S1 vector. S vector is without this delta, the Greek letter, is the position vector. This position vector and this is displacement vector. Okay? So here Fs is displacement vector and W is just scalar, is a dot product between these two. And energy actually is a delta. Change in energy, okay? It's a scalar, alright? So F equal ma, alright? Vector, scalar product, alright? And what's the metaphysical significance, analogy of this? It's this. You are a political human being. I'm trying to change your position. You may be a pro-gayist. I want you to be an anti-gayist. Okay, so that's my work. I want you to change your political position. Okay. Yeah, it's magic. Okay. Magical. We have this. It doesn't have to be two-dimensional. I'm a conservative person, so anti-gayism to me is something positive, and pro-gayism to me is something negative. You are here. I want you to be here. This is your positional vector, one-dimensional vector of -3. I want you to be in +3. Positional vector, okay? This is vector A, vector B. This is starting point. This is ending point. That's my goal. It has length of +6. This is the vector B minus A. Displacement vector. What is force? My anti-gayism, my motivation, my value. How strongly I feel about it. It has direction. Anti-gayist direction. Okay, that's my motivational force. It has direction. It's polar, bipolar direction, bidirectional. I could be an anti-gayist or I could be pro-gayist. It has direction, positive or negative. It has length. That's my political activism. How strongly or how weakly I feel about it. It has direction, okay? So it has size. How strongly I feel about either pro-gayism or anti-gayism, okay? It has direction. Am I anti or pro? One-dimensional, okay? It has length. How strongly I feel about either direction, okay? So it's a vector, all right? One-dimensional vector. If you do change, then yeah, there's some achievement, work done. If you don't change anything, if I fail to convince you, then there is no achievement. Becomes zero. In physics, you have this boulder, huge furniture. You try to push it, but if it's too heavy, it doesn't move. There's no displacement. There's no change of this position or this location in space. Then there is no work done, no achievement. But if I am able to move it a little bit, there's this force of what 500 pounds of force me, my muscle, my weight, and there's small movement. Yeah, then there is a work done. You have achieved something. Okay, so yeah, that's the concept of metaphysical work. Okay, persuasion, convincing. Okay, so that I change your position. I am changing you. Any politics works just like this. 20 years ago, 30 years ago, most Americans used to be anti-gayists. But there was this political activism, gay rights movement. It changed the majoritarian position of Americans and the Westerns. Some Asians and some Africans and some Middle Easterns also changed because they were influenced by this pro-gayism. There's this point charge pro-gayism, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger as more and more people subscribe to pro-gayism. Okay. Yeah, so it became very dominant power. Okay, so we talked about this size of a group. Let's rename those things, okay? Right, because humanology is still developing young science, young discipline, young academic area, okay? So let's call it power of a group. Power P is summation of influence of its members. Okay, and this guy is a scalar. It could be either negative or positive. Let's say power of anti-gayism equals Hitler was an anti-gayist. He didn't like gayism. So he has negative influence because nowadays everybody hates Hitler. Most people hate Hitler. So if Hitler subscribes to anti-gayism, then it's very bad for gayism. And I mean very bad for anti-gayism. And it's good for pro-gayism. Because in most people's mind, Hitler is a very negative figure. And he has hugely negative figure. Like enormously notorious figure. Okay. Jesus was very weakly anti-gayist. He has huge influence. So, okay, let's step back. What is influence? We are running out of vocabulary here. Let's just PG, power of a group, okay? Okay, influence over a person is power of that individual. This power of group, okay? Power of individual My goodness, we are really running out of letters and vocabulary here. So we have to rename this somehow. Influence, power. Well, we'll do it later. Political view of the individual. Okay. Let's say you are George Soros or Donald or some rich person like Bill Gates, George Soros, or some rich businessman, or who's that Berkshire Hathaway guy? I forgot. Whatever. So you are very rich. Just you are not political, but we are just rich businessmen. Okay. And you have a certain view. Okay. So your individual power, your wealth, or your political position, your political status, your Supreme Court justice, or your positional power, your CEO of big corporation, or your Supreme Court justice, or your president of the United States, your U.S. congressman, whatever, your governor of a state. Yeah, you have huge power. Okay, individual power, and you have view. View is a vector. Influence is also a vector. You're Pope of Roman Catholic Church, huge power, and you are pro-gayist. No matter how small your pro-gayist view is, it gets amplified by your power. Okay. So that's your influence factor. Individual influence. Okay. Jesus was a very weak anti-gayist. He did not explicitly. Jesus did not expressly talk about sodomy. He never did. But he did say marriage is between one man and one woman. Okay, you can look it up. Okay, Jesus said a man leaves his father and mother and marry a woman and become one body. Okay, so man, one woman, monogamous, heterosexual union. So what God united, do not let any man separate it. So that's what Jesus said about against divorce. Jesus was very pro marriage, pro straight heterosexual marriage, and anti divorce. But he talked about it in the context of divorce. Jesus was against divorce. He wasn't talking about gay marriage. Jesus also said, yeah, I did not come to abolish the laws. I came to complete, perfect the laws. So if you, there are a lot of rules in the Old Testament, and if you disregard the smallest laws in the Old Testament, you will be called, you will be deemed, regarded the smallest person in heaven. In humanology, heaven means future. Humanology doesn't really talk much about afterlife because it's not provable. Because half of humanology is scientific. We don't try to explore the unknown, unknowable, unprovable realm of afterlife. We talked a little bit about it. Okay, so we talked about good versus evil. Evil is plus sum in life. You are happier than unhappy. Good means you're more unhappy than happy. So yeah, maybe in the afterlife you get compensation for that plus sum or minus sum. That's why some people go to heaven to get compensation for their minus sum life. Some people go to hell to compensate for that plus some life. Okay, so that's about it. That's what we talk about in the justification of afterlife. Okay, that's about it. But when Jesus talk about heaven, humanology maps that into the concept of future in this life, not afterlife. Okay, that's the humanologist's focus is in this life, not afterlife. Okay, so that's one of the major distinction deviation between humanology and traditional Christianity. Actually, it's more Jesusian in some way because Jesus said, "Heaven is in your mind. You cannot say heaven is here or there. It's in your mind." And Jesus also said, "God is the God of the living." Okay, He's God of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. God is moving. One person, Abraham dies, and God moves to Isaac. Isaac dies, God moves to Jacob. Okay, so God is God of the living, not God of the dead. Jesus said that. Okay, so humanology focus on this life, not afterlife. Okay, so when Jesus talks about heaven, paradise, humanological interpretation is future. Okay. Now, so individual's influence, a person's influence is a vector, pro-gayism or anti-gayism, for example. How much power does this person have? Is he a computer programmer in Alaska, just like I was, or is it Supreme Court justice like Justice Kennedy was, or is it Barack Obama, the president of the United States, or is it George Soros, the multi-billionaire, or yeah, power, or is it John, who is Pope Francis in the Roman Catholic Church? And what does that person? What's the view of that person? It has huge influence. Power is a scalar, right? Does this person have negative power like Hitler? Which means he has negative power, meaning he has notoriety rather than fame. He's infamous rather than famous. Okay, so negative power. No matter what his political view is, most people will go against it. There's anti-Hitlerism that's dominant today. Understandably so, he killed many people, right? So we'll talk about anti-Semitism sometime later, okay? But or some other day. There's some understandable rationale behind anti-Semitism. We'll talk about briefly about it. So we talked about this before, like okay, so there's the immigrants from Middle East who came because after Renaissance, after Dark Age, white people were getting more and more power. So Jewish people are very smart, so they saw that. So you know what, Middle East is dead. So let's go to Europe. Let's tap their ass, okay, like a parasite. Okay, let's benefit from their fruits of labor like a thief. So yeah, that's what immigrants are, just like me. I'm kind of like immigrants. Okay, I watch all these Hollywood movies from Korea. Oh, look at all this American civilization. Let's steal. Let's tap their ass. So I came from Korea to America to benefit from the fruits of these white people, or black people, this American fruit. I want, I want to steal from it. Okay, so that's all its immigrants. Yeah, that's how Jewish was. From Middle East, they didn't go to Africa. They didn't go to Asia. They went to Europe, the white country. Okay, because there were all this enlightenment and all this boom of industrial revolution, and so they wanna get something from all this big stuff. Okay, want to be a part of this big thing. And Jewish people did contribute, but they also are very smart and very industrious and diligent. So they end up getting a lot of power, Jewish. And these white people, they look at these Jews, they are not like us. They're from Middle East. They're dark skinned. And now look at them. They're being more successful than we are. So I'm jealous. So let's hate them. Anti-Semitism. Okay, so we talked about this before. There's this business owner. No. There's this father, parents, white parents in America, and they have biological son and they adopted Asian son, and this biological white son is very lazy, and this adopted Asian son is so diligent and so nice, unlike this biological white son. So these white parents, they when they are old, they write a will and leaving everything to this adopted Asian son. So this white guy get jealous. Hey, I'm their biological son, and why is this shithole adoptee from shithole countries getting everything? That's not fair. So that's the basis, that's the reason, that's the causation, this root cause of racism in America. Okay, another cause of immigrant, this anti-ethnic sentiment by white people. Another cause of racism is this: they have these beautiful white girls, and ethnic guys come and marry them. Then their children become non-white. All this blonde, red hair, red hair, blue eyes, green eyes get wiped out. So white race is facing extinction. 'Cause all these ethnic guys, which is 80% of all the world men, is coming to have sex with this 20% of all women, white women. So 80% of all men, 20% of all women, ethnic 80% men, 20% white women, they're coming to get them. So white race is facing extinction. Okay, so yeah, that's one of the this white supremacist movement. That's the reason behind it, and I happen to agree with them. We need to preserve and protect our white race because they are beautiful. Okay, and also for diversity's sake, because only white race have blonde hair and red hair, blue eyes, green eyes. It's worthwhile to preserve and protect. Okay, so I agree with this KKK, neo KKK, neo Nazist, neo white supremacist. There are some things I agree with them. Okay, valid points. They have some valid points, not all points. Okay, so let's take a breath. So yeah, not just yeah. I agree with some points of Hitler. Okay, he was anti-gayist. I disagree with his method that he should just kill everybody, every gay people. No, I disagree with that. But I do agree with his anti-gayism. Okay, yeah, it's something bad. Okay, and so yeah, Hitler has negative power. He has anti-gayist view. He's very negative influence. So it's bad for anti-gayism. The Hitler is a member of the anti-gayist group. Okay. And Jesus was very weakly anti-gayist. He indirectly alluded for anti-gayism, but he never talked expressly against gayism. So yeah, he has some very weak view, but strong influence, multiply together, very weak anti-gayism influence. Okay. So yeah, power of group is a vector. Because why? Why do you need to put this vector sign? Because power of an individual is either negative or positive. It's a scalar, one-dimensional vector. But Influence can be is n-dimensional. It could be about gayism, anti-gayism, or it could be about pro-abortion, anti-abortion, or it could be about pro-marijuana, anti-marijuana, n-dimensional space. That's why it has to be a vector, not scalar. Because scalar is strictly one-dimensional vector. Positive or negative, okay? Are your positive influence, positive power or negative power? Is are you're famous or infamous? Do people like you or hate you? Okay? One-dimensional is a scalar, okay? But vector or influence is an n-dimensional space because anti-gay, pro-gay, anti-marijuana, and pro-marijuana, anti-tattoo, anti-piercing. Okay, pro-piercing, pro anti-piercing, whatever. So n-dimensional is infinite. Okay. Yeah, that's why they are vectors. So and I am meaning influence of the member of this group. Okay. This sigma summation symbol, okay, you need to look it up, okay, because it's just meaning summing over all the members. Member one, member two, member three, you sum them up. That's what sigma, this symbol, mathematical symbol is. Okay, let's take a break. I'm not sure if I have anything more to say today, but maybe. Let's take a break. Let's wrap this up before I permanently damage my vocal cord, okay? I've been talking for like 3 hours today, man. Oh my goodness. So yeah, forget about everything, okay? Just remember that humanology is about love and not hatred, okay? It's about love of all races. They're all God's creatures. God's creation, God's creatures, okay? So, yeah, black people, they're very beautiful people, okay? Their skin tone is very, very beautiful, like dark chocolate or black pearl or black leopard, the, you know, black jaguar. Yeah, they're beautiful. Okay, so, yeah, it's true that Bible talks about darkness as something negative. Okay, light, which is like yellowish white, as something positive. That's what Bible says. But guess what? All these biblical characters, all of them, 100% of them, they are not white people. They're Middle Eastern, Jews, Arabs, Jacob and Esau. Yeah, they're all Middle Eastern. They're browns, just like you and me, many of you. Okay, so race has nothing to do with good and evil. Okay, you're all good. Okay, it's a diversity that God created. Like sunglasses, what does it do? It's sporty, it's stylish, because it's black. Purely black cat, like a feral cat or pet cat or big cat like a jaguar, black jaguar in Amazon. It's beautiful. Black pearl is beautiful because it's black. Okay. There's absolutely nothing racist in humanology. No, it's about diversity. And well, the actor, the muscular actor, Van Diesel, yeah, he's half black, half white, like just like President Barack Obama. I'm glad he became president, Barack Obama. I I'm glad that Van Diesel he made this short film. He made this analogy of milk coffee. It's not you start with black coffee, but you add this white milk and become kind of brown milk coffee. Yeah, they're all beautiful. Okay, mixed race. They're all beautiful people. Okay, some of the most beautiful people I've ever met are mixed race. Okay, both men and women. Yeah, they're handsome men, beautiful women. Yeah, they're all beautiful. Okay, there's nothing wrong with it. What I'm saying is, humanity is about preserving racial diversity. Okay. Ironically, okay, so it's not just white supremacist. No, it's also black supremacist, Asian supremacist, Indian supremacist. It's supremacism of every single race. Okay, because every single race have different talents. Okay, so let's preserve that diversity. Hispanic, yeah, they have great dance, ballroom dancing. They invented all that, and African Americans they invented all the musical genres like rhythm and blues, soul, hip hop, rap, jazz. I love jazz. Okay, and they invented all these solo dancing styles like break dancing, Charleston, and I used to know all this, but I forgot. I forgot. But yeah, so we have about 20 minutes before we make 3 hours. So let's talk about more about optics. Why white people are so visually appealing? We have white board here, and then we have black letters. Okay, you have white piece of paper, and you write mostly in black. Okay, snow is white. The light is kind of yellowish white, and night is dark black. Okay. Yeah, day and night, background and foreground. You used to have blackboard, which just like dark green, and you the chalk used to be just white chalk. Do you know what I'm talking about? Maybe you're a millennial, you have no idea what I'm talking about. I don't know what they use in schools nowadays. I have whiteboard and black marker here, but traditional board is blackboard, so dark green and white chalk. Okay, the contrast. If you only have gray, then you have nothing. You cannot write things. There's no letter. If you have gray paper and gray ink, you cannot pass any information on it. It has to be either black paper and white ink, or white paper and black ink. There has to be contrast. There's diversity. Okay. Let's do some optics. Okay, so you have the sun. You have white piece of paper, and you have black piece of paper. They're both beautiful. I'm not being judgmental here. I'm not being racist here. I'm not a racist. You know that. I have all friends of different races and different ages. Okay. What happens? What's the difference? There's sun, white paper, and black paper. Okay. What happens after 1 hour? We are dealing with physics, optics, electromagnetism. Okay. What happens? You don't have to major in physics to know this. Just use your common sense. What happens? In an hour. This one gets hot. This one pretty much stays the same. Why? Because by the operation of physics, lights, these photons, come here and it reflects. It's like a mirror, okay? Bounce it off. But this black paper, it absorbs and it heats up. This one gets very hot. Okay? There's this human eye. It looks at black paper and white paper. These photons that's being bounced off of this white paper hits the eye. This energy hitting this eye, this optical sensory cell behind in your eyeball, okay, in your brain. So white color stands out, okay. That's why white people are more visually appealing, because it stands out, okay. And you have this white person, white woman, model type, slender white woman. She has this purely black hair, naturally, but her skin is so pale. It's like bluish pale. Very beautiful. Why? Because it has this contrast between her hair and her white skin and her black hair. Okay, and she has blue eyes like the sky. Okay, yeah, she's very beautiful. She's visually appealing to whatever race you may have. Something universal, appeal. Visual appeal. That's why Hollywood movies were so successful back in the days, because all white casting. Okay, so visual appeal is the white people's talent, God-given talent. I don't want you to be jealous about it. Just appreciate it. I'm not white, but I appreciate white people. I'm not black, but I appreciate black people. Because black people tend to have this musical talent, dance talent, also they're great athletes. They get to make these great muscles and stuff, and all the boxers, football stars, basketball stars, baseball stars, yeah, they're mostly black because It's their talents. Different race have different talents. Okay. Now, sunglasses. That's why black people are black, because you have sunglasses. It filters out. What sunglasses does is you have sunlight, photons, it hits, and the sunglasses absorbs it. So all this UV, ultraviolet light, or all these photons, it absorbs, it filters. That's why you wear sunglasses on sunny day, so that so in order to prevent too many photons hitting your eyes. It's a protection. That's why people in Africa developed evolutionarily dark skin to filter out these photons hitting their body cells, because it can cause photons. It's a high energy. It hits your DNA. It can cause some point mutation that can lead to skin cancer. It can damage your cell DNA. Okay, so dark skin is like sunglasses. Okay, it's like sunscreen. That's the evolutionary response in the equatorial region, like Africa. Okay, that's why their skin is dark. It's a God's gift for the people who live there, for the survival, through the mechanism of evolution. Okay? People in the northern Europe, why are their skin so white? It's like transparent. Their skin is sometimes like pink. It's like skin of color of blood. Okay? Because clear glasses. There's so little sunlight, they don't want to filter out the sunlight. No, they want to get as much photon as possible, because they're very short daylights in the northern European region. Why do they need sunlight? Well, to heat their body up, heat up their body, and to make the vitamin D. You know, yeah, it's some biochemical reaction between sunlight and your body. It makes vitamin D, right? Yeah, they need all the sunlight they can get, so there's clear glasses. Okay? That's why their skin is white. They evolved to absorb as much sunlight as possible. Okay, to let through all the photons. Okay? Alright, that's the science of race. Why? And we, the rest of us, brown people, yeah, we're kind of in the middle. Okay, temperate zone. That's where we are, halfway between black and white. It's not gray, it's brown. Okay, so melanin is brown. So there's no purely black or purely white person. It's either light brown or dark brown. Okay. So yeah, that's that. Okay, and we have like 10 more minutes. Let's talk more about biology. Why have you ever wondered why men have nipples? Why do men have nipples when they don't feed babies? They don't produce milk. Why do men have nipples? Here's one theory of evolution. Okay, it's not vestigial organ like our tailbone at the end of our vertebra is. It's not because our ancestors, male ancestors, didn't have any breasts. Okay, so it's not vestigial thing. Then what's your answer? Can you guess? Why do men have tits? Why do men have nipples? Can you guess? What's your evolutionary theory? if you ask me, here's the answer. Okay, so male have XY sex chromosome and women have XX. Okay, so and there are human being have 46 chromosomes. Okay, so this is 45, 46 chromosome. One, two, three. Okay, one, two, three, four. They're all just paired up, right? So these are sex-specific, gender-specific chromosomes, and I think they have so many information here, gender-specific information like menstruation, Adam's apple, all the beard and all that stuff, like mustache for men, no mustache for women. So they ran out of space. Okay, so I think the morphological genetic gene information is stored somewhere here. You know, uh, non-sex specific chromosome. Okay, I forgot how you call it. There's sex chromosome and there's I forgot how you say it, but yeah, sex non-specific chromosome. I think they just ran out of space, so they put some of the morphological information of this location and shape of this female nipples. I think they just put it somewhere here. That's why both male and female have this nipple. Okay, that's my theory. All right, could be right, could be wrong. I don't know. Whatever. Well, it could be somewhere here, but some common region, I guess, or whoever, who knows. So let's talk about evolution a little bit. Okay, there's positive evolutionary pressure and negative evolutionary pressure. Okay, this was positive evolutionary pressure is something that promotes something that have evolutionary advantage. Okay, if you have this gene, we talked about this before, perception of baby being beautiful, that gene, it has positive evolutionary pressure, because if you have that gene, then you will love your children and they will have more chance to survive, and your gene get passed along to the next generation. But if you don't have that gene, if you have this ugliness perception gene toward babies, then you have negative evolutionary pressure toward this gene, because you see your children as ugly, so you don't take care of your children die. So this negative perception, baby perception gene will die with you, because you don't have any children surviving you. Okay, so yeah, this negative and positive pressure. And why do men, don't get me wrong, okay, some of the most beautiful women I've ever seen in my 4 decades of life is black women. Okay, they're very, very beautiful. As long as they have no tattoos, no piercings, and they're slender, then yeah, they're sexually attractive. And sexual beauty is just one kind of beauty. They're all different kinds of beauty. Okay, when I see a very old lady in her 80s, yeah, I see beauty in her. Her wrinkles very beautiful. It's the beauty of wisdom. Some people say, oh, she must have been very beautiful when she was young. I disagree. She's beautiful now, as an 80-year-old old lady. Very beautiful. The wisdom, the character. Yeah, wrinkle is something very beautiful. So don't do any plastic surgery. Okay, so wrinkle is very beautiful. Okay, this is a different kind of beauty. It's asexual beauty. It has nothing to do with sexuality. It's more like metaphysical beauty. And I want you to learn to perceive metaphysical beauty. It's like a sculpture, like sunset, flowers. They have nothing to do with sex, but they're still beautiful, right? So yeah, I appreciate this beauty. Okay, and um, but the majority of interracial couple in the world are white women and ethnic men, white women and non-white men. It's a statistical fact. Okay, most of the interracial couples are ethnic men and white woman. There has to be a reason for that, right? One theory is this, evolutionary biological theory is this. If you're exposed to sun, you get tanned. And traditionally, back in the days, women stayed at home and men, because nowadays it's not like that because we have machines that men invented. Okay, so women, they have laundry machine, vacuum machine, dishwasher machine. So women don't have anything to do at home. So that, and also they're smart, they're college educated. Yeah, so they have you have the child care, daycare. They have nothing to do at home. So yeah, and they are college educated. So yeah, they can work. And you go outside to work, it's no longer physical work. No, it's all metaphysical work. You sit in the office. You no longer use your muscle to work. Even in construction site, you sit behind the wheels. You thanks to machines. Okay, all this male invention. Most invention in the world is invented by men. Okay, so yeah, you have a woman can be construction worker because you have nail gun, you have chainsaw. It's just moving your finger. So yeah, women can do all that stuff. It's no longer hammer or axe. No, just machines. Okay, you just move your handles and your crane and tractors and whatnot, right? Yeah, women can do every work that men can do nowadays because we have machines, mechanical, industrial revolution. Okay, so yeah, and at home there's no work for women because there's all this machine, domestic house machines. So machines freed women. It's not feminism. Yeah, part of it is feminism, but mostly it's machines invented by men. So men freed women from domestic chores. Okay, it's not feminism. They took up some part of it, freeing women from house, but it's mostly male invention that men freed women from this domestic chores. Okay, so but evolutionarily, women used to be at home, so have whiter skin because they are not tanned, they are not exposed to sunlight. Back in the days when there were no machines, yeah, it was mostly physical work. So dark-skinned men, they get tanned. So that's why women find dark-skinned men more attractive because it kind of evolutionarily signifies masculinity. Men going out there, get sunlight and get tanned. And men are more attracted to light-skinned women because that means femininity, femaleness, feminineness. Because she stays at home and that's why she's not tanned and she's lighter skin. Okay, so in Asia, like Korea, I grew up in Korea for nearly 20 years. In Asia, in India, like I'm talking about Asian India, South Asia. Okay, lighter skinned women tend to be more popular among Indians, among Koreans, among Japanese, among Chinese. They are all Asians. We are not talking about black people. We are not talking about white people. They are all Asians. Koreans. Within Korea, lighter skinned women tend to be more popular among guys than dark skinned Koreans. Koreans, yeah, we are all browns, we are all Asians, but there are different skin tones. They are lighter skin, they are darker skin. Lighter skinned women tend to be regarded as sexually more attractive. Darker skinned women sexually less attractive. Okay? In Korea. Alright? So it has some evolutionary explanation for that, and we just talked about it. Okay? And in terms of evolutionary pressure, So industrial evolution, all this machine civilization it has only history of a couple of centuries. In Britain they invented this. I think it's Watson or something. In England, okay, Britain, they invented this steam engine, right? It was how many years ago? For 200 years ago. That's it. Okay, it's machine. This industrial revolution, machine mechanized civilization have very short history. It's a couple of centuries. Okay, but Homo sapiens as a human species, we have 200,000 years of evolution history. The very first human being, like Neanderthal or I can't even pronounce. Opistapsepocolus. Okay, Opisthoculus, whatever. Okay, yeah, there's 200,000 years of history. The very first human being. We have Stone Age. We have this Paleolithic Age, Neolithic Age, and then you have Bronze Age. We have this Iron, Steel Age, not Steel, Iron Age, whatever, right? Yeah, it's 200,000 years. It's, so 200 years of machines. That's like one over 1,000. 1,000s. It's 0.1% of human civilization. Okay, so you are talking about 200,000 of years of Homo sapiens evolution as a species. Then 200 years of this machine age. Okay? The rest of the human history is about men working outside home with their muscles, hunting, building stuff with their muscles. This 0.1% is machine. Okay? What's the point of all this? Kind of forgot. Okay, feminism, right? I already told you when I was taking computer science class, like I'm 40 now, so I was like in my mid 20s. 15 years ago, okay? Probably even today. Computer science class, like computer programming. It's very brain intensive. Mathematics, okay? Not many women want to learn computer programming. Oh, you go to law school, you go to medical school, yeah, more than half of the classmates are females, right? Because it has this prestige, social hierarchy, this class, high class, being a lawyer, being a doctor, making a lot of money, prestige, privilege. Yeah, so women are all for that, right? So, and they're also smart too. So yeah, they become doctors and lawyers and whatever, right? Politicians, CEOs, high-ranking MBAs. You go to MBA school, business school. Yeah, half of them are women. Okay, money. Okay, women love money. Okay, so yeah, they're all about it. But if you go to computer science, like computer programming class, it's mostly men. Okay, you look back into history, and most famous classical painters and sculptors and musical composers or classical music, or they're mostly men. Why? Because there's positive evolutionary pressure over 200,000 years that men are superior in intelligence. That's evolution. Okay, so I'm trying to say it's not a good idea that a female go to politics. Okay, because females tend to be more emotional. Tend to be more democratic, liberal. Male tend to be more Republican, conservative. Okay, because females tend to be more emotional than rational. There's rationality is a classical dualism, rationality and emotionality. Male tend to be more rational. Female tend to be more emotional. Why? This 200,000 years of evolution. Machine civilization is just 200 years. Okay, women did not have enough time to evolve to match males' superior intelligence that has been developed over 200,000 years. There is no match. Okay, women can never defeat a man in terms of intelligence. Okay, or creativity or strength. They didn't have enough time to evolve. Okay, they have been freed out of home for 200 years. That's not enough to overcome 200,000 years of evolution. Okay, so homosexuality, same thing. The evolution of heterosexuality in mammals, millions of years of the evolution of millions, hundreds of millions of years. That's the history of heterosexuality, not just in Homo sapiens, but in mammals. Before that, vertebrate species. Hundreds of millions of years of this evolution of heterosexuality and history of homosexuality. 0.01%. 0.01%. 20 years. Okay, the very first time that gay marriage has become legalized in the Western Hemisphere. 20 years versus 200 million years. It's 0.001%. So you are fighting with this very small evolutionary period. You're fighting against this long period of evolution of heterosexuality. You have no chance of winning. Okay, it's just impossible. It's gonna be a fad, some new trend that's gonna just disappear, just like that, just like snap. Okay, it's a house built on sand, castle built on sand. Yeah, right now it is pro-gayism, gay marriage, transgender, LGBT, whatever. Huge castle, right? It's gonna collapse just like that, one day. Okay, because it's built on sand. So house built on sand, castle, just Babel Tower, defying against God. It's gonna collapse in one day. It's just it will be gone with the wind. Okay, because you cannot fight this 200 million of years of evolution of heterosexual reproduction mode. Which is what 22 decades, 20 years of. They tried, but they're not gonna succeed. It's all gonna collapse. And I don't want you to get hurt when this castle built on sand collapses. I don't want you to be on beneath that. You need to get out of there. This ideology of pro-gayism or tattoo-piercism or marijuanaism is all gonna collapse on you. Unless you escape right now. Okay? That's why I'm recording this. So I don't want you to get hurt when it collapses. It's not gonna be me or someone else. No, it's gonna implode. It's gonna just collapse on their own weight. Because it's built on castle. It gets bigger and bigger. It will collapse. It's bound to collapse. Not because somebody is trying to destroy it. No. It will collapse on its own weight. Get bigger and bigger, and it has no foundation. It's going to collapse. And I don't want you to get hurt. So you need to get out of there before it collapses. Okay. It's just like Great Depression, boom and bust cycle. Okay. So it's bound to collapse, and I don't want you to get hurt. So get out of there. Okay. Save yourself. All right. Okay. So yeah, male, female, Okay, in my opinion, women should never go to politics. Okay, it's just not their thing. They always appeal to emotion, and they always women are fair gender. Okay, fair sex. Okay, women are weak gender. Okay, you have physicality and metaphysicality. Okay, so men are physically stronger. Okay, women they're physically weaker. It doesn't just end there. It transfers into metaphysical domain as well. Women they are very sympathetic, which is good. We need both soft love and tough love. We need both. We need balance. That's why we have one mother and one father. That's the best possible parenthood. Okay, so but to be a leader, you have to overcome the demands. Okay, you have to be strong. You have to have a strong backbone. Women they tend to say yes to every single majoritarian view, like marijuana, yes, gay marriage, yes, tattoo piercing, yes, transgender bathroom, yes. That's women. Okay. Male politicians nowadays they have been very feminized. There are no men in this world. Probably I'm the only man left on earth because all these machines they became more feminine. What do men do when they go to work? They just sit there. Even the construction workers they sit behind the wheel. They become very domesticized. You go to work, you no longer work outside. No, you work in the office. You sit behind the computer screen. Okay. You sit behind the wheel. You are indoors all the time. Men, they become more like women. They are weak. Okay? To be a leader, you have to be stronger, superior in your mental power, in your intelligence, and in your resolve, in your moral principle, moral rectitude, your sense of justice. It has to be stronger than others. That's the qualification for a leader. It's not about saying yes to everything whatever majoritarian people ask you to do. No, you should be able to go against the mainstream. That's the qualification, true criteria for a good leader. You should be able to go against the mainstream and say no to the majoritarian view. I am the only person who can do that, and that's why I'm running for president in 2020. Okay, so if you want some leader who would give you everything that you want, then yeah, go re-elect President Trump. He's gonna give you everything that you ask him to. Go vote for somebody else, anybody else. They will say always yes to you, as long as you are the majority. Me, I will say no when you are wrong. I don't care if you're minority or majority. Okay, so okay, it's been more than 2 hours. Okay, bye. Thank you.